Hi everybody, I'm here with Wilderness War, wonderful game published by GMT and designed by Volko, the same guy that designed Labyrinth. And these along with Labyrinth is a really great game. I recently upgraded my version of Wilderness War to the deluxe one with the mounted map boards, which I love because I don't need to put any plexiglass on it. What to say about this game? It's very well known, it's widely appreciated. I don't think there is any need of a review per se to show the mechanics of the game. What I like to do in these videos is basically tell what I love of this game and why I think gamers should either try to play a copy of it or even better purchase one, because this is a game I think that has a high replayability value. What is the first thing that I like of this game is the fact that it's a fairly easy game to master in its rules. Some not tricky rules. There are different kind of auxiliary units, especially Indians, and those can be more difficult to not to manage, just to keep track of them on the map, because each Indian tribe has a home in which it must redeploy after performing certain actions or at the end of certain at the end of the winter phase of the turn. But I mean, beside this, it's a very straightforward game. The cards the game come with, this is one thing that I really like, are you see, it's a regular size. It's a deck of a regular size, but the kind of cards are not are more or less the same. There are a few events, like 7, 8 kind of different events and actions that can be performed with these cards. So it's also very easy to memorize the cards that are available to each player, and this makes it, of course, easier, you know, to familiarize with the mechanic of the games, to memorize the cards, and to get into the game, of course, more quickly, rather than, I don't know, Labyrinth, for example, which of course has a variety of events that can be performed that are extremely, that are way more in numbers and way more complicated as far as the management of the game is concerned. One thing is that, as usual, there is an event, and the card can be played for either the event or for the activation value here. Differently than Labyrinth, if you play, in this case the red is associated to the British, a French can play this card without triggering the event, and this, I repeat, makes the game easier to play. This is one of those games that is rated not to be very solitary friendly. I personally love more the games that are designed for two than the games designed strictly for solitaire, because I like more the idea of identifying with both sides, okay, of the fight. The game comes with two different kind of leader counters. I don't have now. Comes with leaders that you can stand up leaders here, but I am too used to the hex encounters games, and so I use the regular counters for the leaders. Since there is no stacking limits beside when you defend in fortifications, which you can put inside a fort up to 4 units, it might be difficult to keep track of all these stacks. But I repeat, if you are used to other, to more traditional counter-attacks games, you don't have any problem. Anyway, the map is designed in such a way that you can, these boxes here are associated to a leader, so you can keep only the leader on the map and all the units stacked with the leader here in these boxes, which makes, of course, the whole thing more easy to be managed. So, as I said, all these as I say, this straightforward approach to the game makes it very easy to play and makes it appealing to a variety of gamers, because it implies also strategy that are not just military strategies. One important thing, for example, in this game, as in many games, but in this one it's very important because there are different kind of each point on the map can be linked to the other through different roads, like land, river, lake, boat, and the supply path for the drill troops. It's a very important thing because it is extremely it is a very important strategic movement for each side to try to break the supply line of the opponent, and somehow it's easier to do in this game than in games than in other games. I mean, at least it's easier in theory, and it's easier for both sides. So this makes the game always, in my opinion, very, very balanced. At first, it seems that the British start with an advantage because they have more opportunity of sea movement, because they have more ports, and they can attack here with the amphib landing. But in fact, at the beginning of at least the Annus Mirabilis scenario, which is the shortest one and is the introductory scenario, French are better distributed on the map, and at the beginning this side of the map is not very well protected by the British. So the auxiliary units that are positioned here can easily infiltrate this side and try to raid the stockades here. And there are a certain number of points for occupying a fortress or a fort, and it is extremely important the number of units also involved in a battle is extremely important, because if you lose a battle that involves a stack of more than 4 units and you lose, then you also lose a point. I love of this game the fact that there are 3 different kind of territories. There are cultivated places, mountains, and wilderness here, and there are 3 different ways of moving. Mountains usually stop the advancing of every unit, and the land and boat connections make very easy, especially for the British at the beginning, to move fast along the rivers in order to reach out here in the center, in the middle, where, for example, in this case, I concentrated my attention because the British didn't have the amphib landing here to attack, so this is put quite on standby, and the French attacked here in order to force the British to send more troops to cover this area, and in fact so far the French have been winning. There are 3 different kind of fortifications. fortress, fort, and stockade. So the three different kind of units: regulars, provincials, and auxiliary units. So the game has a sort of triadic structure, and every unit is allowed certain actions and has certain benefits. So this makes the balance of the game, as I said, always just, always fair, well distributed among players. Because really it's not just about moving stacks, but at some point it really becomes important to use the auxiliary units in order to infiltrate stockades, or in order to advance here in the wilderness and to infiltrate original cultivated units, original cultivated space. Anyway, I don't want to get into the rules of the game, but this is a magnificent world game. Even, I repeat, players who are more used to just strategic games that not involve necessarily like tactical thinking can enjoy this game, because the movements around the map, the supply lines, the different kind of fortress that you can of course build and demolish, makes this game of course a war game, but also somehow strategy games that deals, you know, with building and resources somehow, and sometimes it really feels like also you are building roads like in a train game, because it's really important to create and to have certain paths free to move, you know, to reach some destinations very as quickly as possible. I cannot tell really how this game is very well designed. It's fun. I love it. I'm personally enjoying this a lot. And I really recommend you to buy this game, especially because now there is this beautiful deluxe edition with this beautiful mountain map. One thing that I also love is that the rulebook is very, and this is one thing that I love of games of this and Labyrinth. Also, Twilight Struggle, for example, these games that come with a very small rulebook, with few examples, but with the rules really written very clearly, and then in the playbook an extended example of play where you can actually see not just examples of game, but actually examples in the flow of the whole action. And this is part of the whole design of the design of the whole package of the game. So when you open the box, you know that you have also this aid in order to start and appreciating this game. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.